Hello, everyone. My name is Dave Das from Akasha Yoga Academy. I'm very, very, very happy to be here today talking with you about spring. Spring is, I should say yoga is a process that happens in close association with the seasons, with nature, with time and the transit of the sun and the moon. All of the elements that are present in nature relate very much both to Ayurveda and to the practice of yoga. The practice of yoga being like the sister science in a certain way of Ayurveda. And as springtime comes, a whole new energy comes. It's like often considered to be rebirth, and it's a time that's very beautiful for doing some cleansing practices. Traditionally, spring is a beautiful time for cleanse. We'll look at just a very few practical points on cleansing at the end of today. But I actually want to start with a different aspect of rebirth, which is the aspect of gratitude for life. Gratitude for life is something incredibly potent and incredibly powerful. And when you see somebody who's really actively practicing gratitude, it makes a huge difference in the way that they look at life and in the way that they interact with life. And recently on a Zoom call, we were talking about the difference. We have the good fortune, you could say, to live in Bali, where in every field, even the rice field, no matter what kind of field where they're growing food, there's an altar in that field. What does it mean? It means they're in a very positive reciprocal exchange of giving and receiving to nature, not just taking, but giving and taking. They bring holy water, they chant mantras, they go through a whole process of offering gratitude to life. Now, sometimes I get the feeling on our calls like people in the Western world are also many times going to farmers markets, buying locally, buying from someone that made the food with more love and more conscious intention, which is incredibly beautiful. But sometimes I feel like in the Western world, people just get their food from the store, they're busy, there's no other opportunity, and they feel like they don't have the chance to introduce a gratitude practice into their food and their water consumption. And that's just not true. And so I want to give you just a few very simple, very practical tips for gratitude in relating to food. One thing that you can do that's amazing gratitude practice for food is to touch the food and work with the food in food preparation. I think in almost every culture of the world, home food is considered something even, that's treated with a lot of love and a lot of respect. And the reason is because at home, people consciously are putting their love into that food. You can do that even if you're just cooking for yourself, just you're washing your fruit. Just take a moment, feel the texture of the skin of that fruit. When you're cutting it, just say, wow, thank you, life brought me the abundance of this miraculous thing called an apple. And it's full of prana, it's full of life force, it's full of health and vitality. And I'm going to imbibe that into my physical body, which in itself is a kind of miraculous practice. Like how magical is it that we take these things in our mouth and out of that comes life force, energy, vitality, healthy, functioning human body. Wow, amazing. So gratitude inside the food preparation. And then, of course, there's also potential for gratitude in the eating process, both for the flavors and the tastes, or even consciously at the beginning of a meal. Wow, thank you, thank you, thank you for bringing food onto my table. This is kind of ancient grandmother wisdom, right? Just thank you that there's abundance. Thank you that there's food. Thank you that there's the opportunity to sit and be with people that you love, with food, with vitality, kind of consciously bringing that gratitude into your food environment. And another place that people underestimate where they can bring gratitude actually is into water. Many of you have heard of these beautiful experiments that were done with water and with consciously putting energy into water. And not only is that true, but gratitude and love and conscious working with water, if you kind of think about the fact that your body is kind of like predominantly made of water, that is the element that's most present inside of us in some ways. So when you approach water, approach with gratitude. Just, wow, that you have the opportunity to drink fresh water, that you can revitalize your water content. And we'll get a little bit more into the practicalities of that at the end of today. But before we do that, I wanted to just carry this gratitude process beyond food and water and into the natural environment. So another way that you can practice gratitude that's wonderful is really consciously touching the earth. And that can be a tree, but it can also just be the ground, your bare feet, feeling the dirt underneath, just feeling the experience of what it means to touch the earth. And unquestionably really connecting with the dirt and the soil. Those that love gardening, there was a beautiful man who was on our Zoom calls and in our community for a long time who used to vividly describe his beautiful, beautiful experiences in his garden. And it would just carry everybody into the feeling of that. And there was, I feel like in some ways we yearn almost on a soul level to return back to a more simple, meaningful exchange with the earth herself. Not take, but beautifully giving, receiving, and walking on the earth and feeling the earth and feeling the earth in our hands and feeling her abundance in plants, even in air. One big breath full of life force. And every single breath is receiving and giving. You're receiving prana and you're giving out what your body no longer needs. What an amazing process. How much gratitude there can be in every breath. My teacher in India used to say, be grateful for the inhale. Be grateful for the exhale. Be even more grateful for the space in between. That's maybe touching into the realms of meditation, the space in between breaths. But while we're on this journey of looking at rebirth and gratitude, and we've looked at earth and water and breath, and we could also look at Akasha. We are Akasha Yoga Academy. Akasha is the ether, the space, and the space holds a certain knowledge, actually. And so just taking a moment, maybe around sunrise or sunset or during the day sometime, and just feeling yourself expand into the ether beyond the limit of your body, and then just giving gratitude. Just, wow, thank you for the spaciousness. Many of us inside of our yoga asana practice have had a moment where it's like you're just so far beyond your body. Sometimes people come up to me after a class and they say, Dave Das, I was the whole room. I was in the whole room. Yes, in the whole room. But even one step more, in all of the space. And once you're in all that space, reverence to life for the field of Akasha, the field of wisdom that is the spaciousness of our own being. So, some simple gratitude practices for this rebirth process called spring that relate to food, water, earth, breath, and akasha ether, that are all functioning within our body. This is the science of Ayurveda. There's also fire as an element. All of those are consciously moving in our body, and that's part of the experience, you could say, of the yoga journey, is this simple life in profound reverence and connection to nature. Now, some simple practices for those that like a more practical touch. I know we always suggest on our courses lemon water as the first thing that you consume in a day. Actually, when you wake up in the morning, it's not that your body is hungry, it's actually thirsty. So one of the best things you can do for it is just lemon water. And a little twist on that I've been introduced to by a friend who's in the health field that I appreciate a lot. And Kirsten and I have been doing it for maybe the last 2 years, roughly, is lemon water, 15 minutes waiting, and then either cucumber or celery juice, freshly made, ideally, with nothing else in it. No lemon, no anything. And the concept actually there is that lemon flushes the liver, which makes sense. If you go to the store and you look at the cleaning products, what do they all have in it? It's like kind of 80% of the cleaning products are like lemon this, lemon that. It's like, okay, lemon is kind of nature's cleanser. So we have this lemon water, and that flushes the... And sometimes people get the wrong idea and think that I mean just lemon. No, it's like a big glass of water with 1 or 2 lemons in it or limes in it. And then you drink that, and that actually refreshes the liver, revitalizes the liver. The liver dumps out what's left over from yesterday. But then it actually needs rejuvenation in some way. It needs mineral content. And a great way to get mineral content is either cucumber juice or celery juice. So waiting 15 minutes for that dumping process to happen, and then fresh juice, that kind of brings revitalization into the system. And then, of course, whatever you want to have for after that. The other thing that I would really recommend in springtime, and this is a very classic hatha yoga approach, is lots of twists, actually. They say that twists detoxify the system. The liver's kind of in here somewhere, and when we twist both directions, we're really kind of revitalizing and refreshing all of our organs. So if you have a regular hatha yoga practice, double down on your twists. Maybe you like the seated twist. Maybe you like the reclined twist. There's lots of twist variations out there. All of them are most welcome inside of the practice all the time, but even more in springtime when we're kind of have this chance of refreshing and rejuvenating, where there's possibility for rebirth and revitalization of our health. So those are 2 small practical components. But more than that, spring is just a time of amazing potential, of wonder, of growth, of new life, and reverence for life. And at the center of reverence for life is the practice of gratitude. And I'm grateful to you for making it to the end of this video. May that gratitude and the natural joy of your heart lead you into the discovery of the truth of spring. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.